What if you could predict the future and know exactly how a new product or service offering was going to land, whether it was going to be a big hit or a big fail with your customers? How would that change the way you do business? How would that change your business? How would that change your life? All right, well, today that's what we're going to be talking about, is actually the strategy behind doing that. I call it the insider strategy. It comes from Mike Michowitz and the Pumpkin Plan. And this strategy really enables you to predict the outcome of a new product or service that you may be offering or thinking of launching. And the reason why it's so successful is because you're actually going to be developing the new product or service with your top customers. Together, you and them are going to go in and you're going to create the new product service offering you want, because you're going to have access to what they want and you're going to have the tools to provide it for them. That's what we're going to talk about today. My name is Jacob Curtis. I am the owner of Curtis Counseling Solutions and the co-owner of Utah Valley Quilting. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you what things have been working and not working inside your business. And so, especially as it comes along with developing new products and new services and things for your customers. One of those that I have found, one of the strategies that I found super helpful is actually this insider strategy, because it enables you to get access to your top customers and what they're wanting, what they're looking for. It helps you to get an inside access into their minds, right? Which is really awesome. And so it's a process of co-creation, not just you all one-sided, but it encourages you to involve them in the process so that you can know with some level of certainty that there's going to be some level of interest in sales from that. It's going to help you to be innovative, encourage you to save money and time, and really shape your brand, and all while inspiring loyalty and helping you have these raving fans that can promote your business and your products and your services to everybody else. So as you develop this, the insider strategy really enables you to collaborate with your top customers. So there's a few prerequisites that you've got to have. You've got to know who your top customers are, and you've got to have know what makes you unique, what sets you apart from your competition. All right, you've got to know what your unique offering is and your top customers. Once you know those things, then the next step is to really figure out what's in demand. What is that in-demand product or service that your top customers are wanting? And so you got to start by generating a few more ideas, a few ideas of what's happening. And I recommend that going back and reviewing your wish list interview results, looking over what your customers have told you when you're talking with them, review those, and then answer some of the next couple questions to help you develop a new product or a new service. And so a couple of those questions you may want to ask and review and talk with your top clients about is, well, what gaps exist in what and how your industry delivers new products and services? What gaps are you uniquely positioned to fill? Like you have a unique, great solution to, okay? Based on what you've been told by your top customers, what can you do to serve them even better? Brainstorm about ideas for new add-ons or to existing products, or even brand new areas that you can focus on, right? Where should you be putting more energy and focus so you can create these new offerings, whether they're actual products or just services? Okay, now review those answers you've already been talking about, review all the information you have about your new customers, how they will react. And then the next thing is you're going to, step two is to start with your top customers. Reach out to that actual community, to your top customer community, and you know who they are because you've already talked with them before, right? And ask them for their opinions about what products and services that they want. Tell them about this new idea that you have. Ask them if it's something that they would be willing to help you create, and would they even be willing to purchase it once it's done, right? You're going to have to decide how you're going to contact them, whether it's via emails or phone calls or in person or social media. But basically what you want to do is you want to talk with them and create a spreadsheet or a database to keep track of their responses and how they react to you presenting this idea that you've now come up with, right? Note how many of them are saying yes enthusiastically and how many are a little on the fence and how many of them say no. And pay particular attention to your top customers, to those that you know fit within your top customer realm, because those opinions matter more than those that aren't your top customers. And that's why it's so important to actually know exactly who your top customers are. Now, the third step is to show appreciation. Reach out and thank everyone who gave you feedback, especially your top customers, right? Regardless of what their answer is, whether it was a good answer, something that you wanted, or a bad answer, something that you weren't really expecting them to say. Regardless, we want to reach out and say, thank you so much for your response. What that does is it helps them to recognize that their impact is actually having an impact, that what they are telling you in that feedback they're providing is valued by you. And it really is, because now you have some kind of baseline to base your new products and services on. Every time you want to launch a new one, you want to go through this process. Step 4 is you're going to make an announcements. Once you have enough yes answers and you've tweaked the product offering, that you've got enough yes answers to make it a viable product, that there's going to be significant interest in your idea. You want to inform your community, your top customers, your people, that you're going to create this new product line, and you want to announce this to your entire community as well, not just your top people, because you know your top people are going to be interested. Now you want to see how much interest there is in the community in general. Now you got to remember, we're doing this all before we've actually launched the new product or the new service, right? We just want to know if it's popular just with the top customers, or if there's a wider range out there. So, and make that announcement, say we're thinking of launching this. If you would be interested, I don't know how to word it exactly, but that's exactly what you want to do, is just announce and say, we're doing XYZ. If you're excited, put a thumbs up, leave a comment, let us know if this is something you're interested in, that kind of thing. Step 5 is really to take that to the next level now and engage with everybody that shows that interest, that comes up with an idea. One of the great things that you might be able to do or want to do is actually say, if you're wanting to learn more about this, give me your email address. Then you can contact those that are specifically asking or interested in that product line or that new service. You can have their email and you can give them periodic updates. You can ask for their feedbacks and opinion as you develop the program or develop the new product, or as you're making updates to what it is you're thinking of doing. Let them know, ask for their feedback, let them know what things are good, they're bad, and as you get that feedback, continue to record what it is that people are asking for, what they're saying they're liking, what they're not liking, and so that you can make changes, you can add the features, you can make changes and develop your offering based on the feedback that they're telling you, and then determine exactly how often you're gonna engage with all these people, right? Are you gonna engage with them weekly, monthly, quarterly? Is it gonna be, how are you gonna engage with them? Is it gonna be an email feedback? You can get on video calls and do a Zoom call with this group of elites, with this group who are wanting this new product or service. How are you going to create that? What is your community engagement plan? Write that down, and then stick to it. Make sure that you stick to that plan, because that's really going to be the important part of this. Step 6 is all about asking. Once you have a good description of what your new product is going to be, what it's going to look like, and the next step is to really, before you can even launch it, it probably is going to cost you some money to get the materials, or to make the landing site, or to get the program up and running. It's going to take a little bit of money, right? So what I would ask, the next step is to really, and this is kind of a big ask, but ask for a small non-refundable investment into this program or into this product, and committing to them that they're going to be the first people to get this result, right? You need, in order to get it off the ground, you need a small result. And this is a really big thing. We know these work because of crowdfunding websites, right? You can go to a crowdfunding website and you give them money and they say, oh yeah, well, you'll be one of the first to get XYZ, but it may take years, 12 months, 18 months, 3 years before you even see a product, if that even launches, right? And often we go to these things, and I know my wife has invested in some fancy toothbrush thing, and that's been 2 or 3 years ago, and she's still getting updates. This is what's really cool, is they're still getting updates. They're still inventing and saying, oh, we ran into this problem and we're still doing this, and what do you guys think of this? How does this work? And they even have, inside their insiders community, they have an even tighter beta group where they're sending out demos of the product and asking for feedback on those. That's something you may be able to do too. And so what you want to do is ask that community to make that small deposit, so you have a little bit of funds to actually develop and continue to launch that product from, right? And instead of taking your own money, which you will invest as well, but you also want to take a little bit, you want them to have some skin in the game, to be comfortable with you developing this new product. It's not going to be the full price. In fact, depending on what you're launching, it may just be 5 to 10% of the overall value that they're going to get later, right? So once you've made that ask and people have made the commitments and by putting their money where their mouth is, once that commitment, that's probably one of the biggest steps is people will say all the time, yeah, I want that, but until they actually fork over the money, until they put some skin in the game, until they make that action, you don't really know for 100% where it's going to be, right? You have a pretty good idea. People are telling you it's a good idea, but until they actually pay for something and put up a little bit to help launch it, that's when you know that it's really going to be good. So once you've got enough funding to start, you've got enough yeses, you've actually got people committed to it by paying. Now you want to think up you want to limit the access that can have, right? When you launch your new products and service, you want to make it available for only a limited time or limited quantities, something like that. Of course, you're going to include everybody that helps, right? All those that made the deposits, all those on the insider email list or whatnot, all of those are going to be included already. But now you want to say, to open it up to the world, you want to say there's only a limited number of there's a limited number of time or a limited number of quantity we can do in this time, right? Because creating this scarcity and time pressure works to motivate people to act now, which increases that demand. Okay, there are a few different ways you can do this, right? You can do limited quantities, limited times, you can do various things, you can offer special beta pricing for the opportunity to be the first ones in, all these kinds of things. Offer it to your top customers, it will increase their loyalty to you if you only want to offer it to them. And so you write down kind of what that strategy is. As you're working through these things, you always want to do that. Now, the very last step is the delivery, right? You've got the money, you've got a plan, everything. Now you've got to go out and actually do it. One of the things you want to do is you want to over deliver. One of the drawbacks to the insider strategy is that your customers know exactly what they're going to get because they've been involved from day one in the development of this new product or service, right? So they know exactly what this is and they know exactly what it is. And so sometimes when you release it, they have a little bit of a letdown, like, oh, yeah, this is exactly what I was expecting. And so what we want to do is you want to add a little surprise in there, giving them something a little more that they don't really know or expect yet. And that's going to be the key to making sure you are over delivering in what they are already expecting, because they already know 99% of what's going on, right? They're the insiders in the strategy, and so if you add just a slight bit more to it, then all of a sudden you've hooked them, right? And now they'll be raving fans and continue to do that. The last couple steps are to track all of the responses you get from feedback after you've made those deliveries, you made the shipments. Learn from that feedback. Figure out what's working, what's not, and learn from that feedback. The biggest thing you can do is to really learn from this the first time you do this. The second time will be a little better. The third time will be even better than that. Every time you use this strategy, the insider strategy, to launch new programs or new services or new products, you need to get this data. And the more data you have, the better they'll be. And the first time you do this is probably not going to be as successful as the 10th time you do this. But the point is that you continue to work forward and you continue to do this. So if you want to get the guide, I have a guide for this. It's called The Insider Strategy. It's on curtisaccountingsolutions.com/resources. Go there and download the Insider Strategy. In here, you'll have all these steps that I've listed out and where to get them. So again, it's curtisaccountingsolutions.com/resources. You can also learn you can also find me on Facebook and YouTube and Pinterest and Instagram. Again, Curtis Accounting Solutions/resources. You can also schedule a call with me there on my website. There's a button to do that if you'd like to do that. And if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Again, curtisaccountingsolutions.com/resources to get that guide today. Thanks, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.